iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome back to the American Sim Racing Club. Tonight, we'll see the drivers do battle at the Milwaukee Mile. As we get ready to wrap up practice here, we'll look at the times, and right now, Nick Fleury in the 25 machine is at the top of the timing and scoring. Now we will get ready to go over to qualifying and see who will get the quick time award for race number 6 here for the American Sim Racing Club Sportsman Series. And tonight we are going to go to the short track format. The sprint race will be enabled here tonight. So with the qualifying, there will be an invert. So these drivers will have to keep that in mind as we get cars here ready to go out onto the track. Right now we'll look, I believe it's the 951 machine of Brian Wilderson on pit road, but I think he might be waiting a little bit. So we'll take a look at the 29 machine of John Kane and see him get up to speed down the backstretch. We'll see John Kane now get on up to speed, head into turns 3 and 4, and get ready for his first time lap. Milwaukee is a driver's track, folks, as you can tell, with a very low banking and some pretty high corner speeds. We'll see drivers really flirting on the edge of control here tonight, especially on corner exit, as we see John Kane start his first time lap. John definitely a little bit high in 1 and 2. You know, you want those left sides just on that white line, almost on those rumble strips, especially on corner entry. I usually like to diamond this racetrack. What that means, folks, is kind of enter straight, let that car drift on up, and then off the corner, try and get as straight of a run as you can to jump on the loud pedal. So maybe John Kane throwing away this first lap. We'll try here for the second lap as we look at the 29 machine for time lap number 2. Right now, it looks like Lee Campbell in the 27 machine will go to the top of the scoring. As I just say that, Josiah Millen now will take the top spot with a 30.63. And Hayden Swank, he was very quick in qualifying or practice, folks. Now very quick in qualifying as well. Goes to the top of the timing scoring in that 35 machine. As we see right there, folks, how difficult this track is to get off the corner as John Kane gets into the wall. That would disallow this lap. As we now look at the 14 machine of Zach Heiser. Zach stand-in driver for when he can show up here. Usually has the Horsepower Happenings, a great little podcast if you want to keep up to date on the Midwest racing scene. But Zach Heiser with the, I want to say, second place at Eldora. We'll see what he can do at another driver's track. This being Milwaukee, we are looking at the 14 machine down the backstretch for his first time lap. Zach Heiser absolutely had 0 laps of practice, folks, so we will see what he can do for his first couple laps around this place as he gets right down to the bottom, right where he needs to be in 3 and 4. We'll see what lap number 1 can do, but Hayden Swank does go faster on lap number 2 with a flying 30.21. Lee Campbell in second, a great qualifying effort by him. As lap number 1, Zach Heiser goes P number 11. It looks like he will stop it with that, as we now see the 25 machine of Nick Fleury getting that thing up to speed down the backstretch. We will see where Nick Fleury can go on his first time lap here as he heads through 3 and 4, right there at the bottom of the racetrack, right where he needs to be as he heads down the front stretch here to complete time lap number 1. Nick Fleury will go P number 6 lap number 1. We saw Hayden Swank go faster lap number 2. Let's see if Nick Fleury has more in the tank for his final time lap as he goes down the backstretch here, folks. As we see the 25 machine floated in 3 and 4 for the final time. Definitely enters on the top side, gets that thing to cut on down, gets a great run off. Will it be enough to improve his lap time? We will wait and see, and Nick Fleury does improve it, just a little bit, but all those times right on top of each other. That will put Nick Fleury up to P number 3. Tyler Jordan now jumps up to P number 6 as well. So some great lap times by these drivers, as we've had 15 of the 16 drivers here that have registered have taken a qualifying lap. Hayden Swank right now, our current pole sitter, our current quick time recipient. Lee Campbell with an awesome qualifying in second. Nick Fleury third. Day Payne fourth. And Ron Hart in the 5th position as they sit. Tanner Tallarico will start right in the mid-pack. We'll see how he gets through the field. But don't forget, folks, there will be an invert with this heat race, so that will throw a wrench in everyone's plan. As a little bit to take into account, we are 2 weeks away from the start of the playoffs, so drivers keeping that in mind. But Hayden Swank gets the job done. He will get the pole here tonight. We'll see how he can get through the field. As we'll go down trackside here and go through tonight's starting order. I was mistaken, folks. The invert doesn't come till after the heat race. So Hayden Swank in the 35 machine will start on the pole. Second place goes to Lee Campbell in the 27 machine. Row number 2 will be made up of Nick Fleury in the 25 with Dave Payne in the 38. Row number 3 will be Ron Hart in the 51 with Tyler Jordan in the 92. 7th goes to Cameron Derricks in the 927, Tanner Tallarico in the 1 is 8th. 9th is Brian Wilderson in the 951, and Kyle Lesher in the 41 rounds out the top 10. 11th goes to Josiah Millen in the 40. 12th is Devin McDonald in the 18. 13th is John Sanu in the 86. 14th is Zach Heiser in the 14. John Kane in the 29 machine is 15. And Danny Venezuela rounds out tonight's starting order. These drivers are racing for those all-important points for the playoffs, and also the winner of the heat race will get a playoff point. So we'll see how this shakes on up as these 16 drivers get ready to do battle here at the Milwaukee Mile. As the pace car starts rolling, we'll get these cars getting ready to rock and roll. As we see the 51 machine, last week's winner, will drop to the back. He will try and do the shotgun challenge here at the Milwaukee Mile. as these cars get ready to go racing here. We are on the 1 to green, so we'll wait for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road here in a second. Hayden Swank will lead us to green flag. And Lee Campbell will start on the outside of the front row. We'll see how these guys navigate turn number 1 as the pace car makes the very late turn down pit road. This pit road very tricky, so these drivers have to keep that in mind as we wait for Hayden Swank to jump on the loud pedal. He just does just that. We get away here pretty cleanly. We'll see how everyone shakes on out for these 20 laps here in this sprint race as Hayden Swank jumps out with a big lead over Lee Campbell with Nick Fleury, trying to hang on to that car with a little bit of technical difficulties. We look back a little bit further at the 927 machine, get around Dave Payne. Dave Payne is stuck on the top side, but further on back, we got some 3-wide racing action off of turn number 4. Looks like Kyle Leisure with a little bit of some slowness. Not sure if maybe he's just trying to keep that car clean or maybe some sort of issue as we see the field get through 1 and 2 here. As Hayden Swank out front continues to lead the way in this field with some battling going on back here up front. It is single filed on out for the most part. It is very hard to stay on the top side, let alone try and make a move up there. So we'll see everyone try and get down as one car goes around on the front stretch. That looks like Devin McDonald with some more cars around. Zach Heiser, one of them involved, but it started with the 18 machine with the issue. We'll take a look at the replay and see what happened. As we take a look at our first yellow, and looks like Devin McDonald. You know, folks, I said it, and we'll see it continuously here tonight, that it is going to be hard for these drivers to put down the power. And Devin McDonald, now the first victim here tonight, luckily has this sprint race to try and get back through the field, as well as getting a new car for the feature event. As we see the field getting on up to the back of the pace car. But these drivers not holding anything back. They know they have a limited amount of laps, as we saw some 3-wide racing action here early. Even up front, Tanner Tallarico in the mid-pack, making it 3-wide a little bit further on back. So we'll try and take a look at that down the front stretch here. We'll take a look at this replay as we see them head down the backstretch here. And we'll take a look. Stay close attention down the front stretch. We'll see them go both around Dave Payne here at some aggressive early moves. As that was not the right time, as you can see them wrecking on behind them. So we will have to take a look, but we are already on 2 to go. So these guys getting ready to go back to racing action. These laps very quickly clicking on off for the most part. Alrighty, folks, this time at the start finish line, we'll see the lights get extinguished on the iRacing pace car. That means we'll be going green next time by. We'll see them double file on up. Nick Fleury now up to the front row. We'll see if his internet connection can hang on. Lee Campbell will be third. Cameron in fourth. And Dave Payton now gets to restart on the inside in the 5th position. As we'll get ready to go back, green flag racing action for this sprint race. Of course, a lot on the line, a lot of points for the regular season, even some bonus playoff points to be had. As once again, we'll wait for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road, make that hard left-hand turn to this tricky pit road. And Hayden Swank jumps on the loud pedal. We go back green flag racing from Milwaukee as Nick Fleury able to slot on in. It looks like the 927 machine may get stuck on the outside. Tanner Tallarico trying to take advantage of that car. Now Dave Payne will try and look to the inside as well. Going down the backstretch side by side with the 927 and the 1 machine. Tanner Tallarico will float it on in there on the bottom. Tyler Jordan does the same to Dave Payne, who will now try once again to get back to that bottom side. But up front, we got a battle for the race lead. Nick Fleury trying to make the moves on Hayden Swank. We'll keep an eye here on the battle for the race lead. Hayden Swank, of course, has led all the laps up until this point out front, qualifying on the pole. Now Nick Fleury will try and challenge him for the race lead here as they go door to door down the backstretch. And Nick Fleury will have the advantage heading into turn number 3. He'll take the race lead and take over the point as Hayden Swank right on that back bumper. As now Hayden Swank might be in trouble. He has a challenge from Lee Campbell for second, with Tanner Tallarico right there as well. Tanner Tallarico trying to roll that bottom side. Lee Campbell, I don't know if that was the right move, folks, to try and jump to the outside of Hayden Swank. Hayden, a smart driver out there, knowing he can't give up that bottom side, so he'll let Lee try and roll that top side. But now Lee is on the wrong side of the freight train as he gets stuck on that top side, and there is a long line of cars behind him down low, so he will fall all the way from second or third position at least all the way back now in the 7th position, and looking to lose more spots as now Ron Hart is making his way up through the top 10 now as he currently runs in 8th and tries to get around Lee Campbell here. But out front, Nick Fleury will continue to lead the way, this time by the field. We'll see 10 to go in the sprint race. Cross flags halfway down, halfway home. As Ron Hart able to get around Lee Campbell. Lee Campbell now will get back to the bottom side, but a battle for second on the speedway. Tanner Tallarico trying to get around our pole sitter, Hayden Swank, up top. There'll be enough of a gap if Hayden times this right to slot on into third. Will not have to lose a spot to Tyler Jordan, but still a lot of racing left in this short sprint, as Hayden Swank has to be careful not to let too many more cars by, because right behind Tyler Jordan there is a long line of cars right there. As Tyler Jordan now looks to the inside of Hayden Swank. This is the battle for third on the speedway, and Dave Payne will try and get in there as well. He'll get to the inside of Hayden Swank in 3 and 4, so Hayden Swank now might be on the wrong side of the freight train, but able to maybe get in front of Cameron in the 927 FedEx machine, as Cameron now looks to the inside as well. Hayden Swank will shut that door just in time. As we see the field head down the backstretch, Nick Fleury leading the way, but Tanner Tallarico is chasing him down. Our current points leader is that 1 car, so he's looking to extend his points, also give himself a bonus points for those all-important playoffs. As we look a little bit further back, Hayden Swank trying to give the 927 machine the top side. He knows he can't give up that bottom, as now Ron Hart will be to the inside down the backstretch here. As actually, no, Ron Hart is not able to put down the power, so Ron Hart will slot back into second as Cameron is applying big time pressure to the back bumper of Hayden Swank. Up front, Tanner Tallarico all over the back bumper of Nick Fleury with only a handful of laps to go. Now looks to the inside of Nick Fleury heading into turn number 3. We'll go door to door here for the race lead, folks. As a little bit further back, it looks like the Ron Hart able to get around the 927 machine, as the battle for the race lead continues to unfold. Nick Fleury trying to hang on to that top side and doing a pretty good job at it here, as now he will lose the race lead. We'll see if he tries the crossover, if he has a big enough of a run. It does not look like it, so Tanner Tallarico takes over the point here inside of 5 laps to go for the sprint race. Tanner Tallarico off of turn number 4. We'll see 4 laps to go, as a little bit further back, Lee Campbell trying to hold off Brian Wilderson in that 951 machine. Ron Hart still not quite able to get the job done on the 927 machine, so these guys trying to get some points here before it's all said and done from the sprint race. And Brian Wilderson now looks to the inside of the 27 machine. They go door to door and almost touching 3 and 4. This is the battle for 8th on the speedway, as Brian Wilderson looks like he's able to clear Lee Campbell in that 27 machine. So they will single file on out, but Lee Campbell may try the crossover. Not quite enough of a run, so give Pete number 8 to Brian Wilderson. But up front, Tanner Tallarico can set sail about 3/4 of a second lead over Nick Fleury. This time by for the sprint race, Tanner Tallarico will see popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go. Tanner just needs to see that white flag, and he knows the sprint race is official, so he just has to make it around the speedway 1.5 more times. As you see, he's even getting sideways off these corners, folks, trying to put down that power. These ARCA cars, very heavy, but have a lot of power and not a lot of downforce to go with it, so they take a good amount of finesse, especially here at a flat track like the Milwaukee Mile. As this time by Tanner Tallarico, we'll see the white flag here. 1 more mile left in the sprint race for the 1 car. Everyone else mostly single filed on out for the most part. And Tanner Tallarico through 3 and 4 from this sprint race. Looks like he will get the job done. He'll pick up the win. So we'll be talking to the driver of the 1 car during this little break here before the main event. Nick Fleury in 2nd, Tyler Jordan 3rd, Dave Payne 4th, and Hayden Swank rounds out the top 5 as they run from this 20 lapper. So a great run. These guys get some much valuable data for this main event. But Tanner Tallarico looking very strong here, and we'll be talking to the driver of the 1 machine here in a second. As folks don't go anywhere, we're going to go to commercial break. We'll be back on the other side with the driver of the 1 car, the winner of the sprint race. We'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, we are back here from the Milwaukee Mile. We'll try and dial up our sprint race winner, that being the one of Tanner Tallarico, a common sight here in the booth. We'll get a word with him now. Tanner, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett.
Alrighty, man. It seems like a pretty common occurrence. I was just saying to introduce you. You're up here talking with me again. How was that 1 car? Man, that thing looked fast tonight.
Yeah, it was really good. I was just talking with Nick and Dave and those guys down there. It's really strong, at least for me. I feel like I gain all my time on entry, but actually through the center and the exit, I feel like I'm giving up time. It's almost like I've got the entry figured out really, really well. But this place is tricky. If you watch the ripple strip as the cars kind of work their way around the corner, there's 1 or 2 spots where the little yellow ripple strip kind of tightens up, and I feel like as soon as I get to that point, I'm struggling a little bit. But if we can get that figured out for the feature here, I think we're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, Tanner, even when you took the lead, it seemed like you were playing around a little bit with the braking, getting that car to rotate, and most importantly, especially around this place, trying to put that power down. We saw that one car kicking the rear end out every now and then, even in the race lead.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know if it's because when we go from the asphalt in the actual corner to I guess it'd be the older asphalt, or maybe, yeah, I guess it would just be the older asphalt when you come off the corner. That transition right there kind of makes the back of the car a little unstable, and there's no banking here, obviously, so that doesn't help the cause. But yeah, it's especially, I'd say the first 5 to 10 laps on tires are really, really sketchy, and you got to make sure that you're not overheating the tire in that first few laps, because I feel like if you do that, you're going to kind of hurt your overall speed for the rest of the run. So I think just trying to manage that rear tire slide right off the bat is going to be huge for your long run speed.
Yeah, not only that, Tanner, I think that inside line is going to be the place to be, as it normally is around Milwaukee. I think you may be starting on the inside, might be wrong, but yeah, is that the game plan to keep everyone at bay, let's say, and try and get through this field if there is an invert?
Yeah, I think we'll be starting. I'm not sure what's going to go on. I don't know if Ron's going to be getting an EOL here or not, since he's a shotgun driver, but we should be starting, I believe, 10th with the invert. And I tried to work the outside a little bit there with Nick at the end of that heat race, and it's just really tough, man. You really got to make sure you don't mess anything up, almost to the point where, at least in my opinion, it might not even be worth it for as much time as you're giving up, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's hard because it makes it harder to pass, but it's good because it forces us drivers to make sure we're hitting our marks, especially if there's somebody right behind us. So I think it's going to make for a good race. It's going to be aggressive for sure, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe we can put on a show.
Yeah, I look forward to it, Tanner. Before we let you go and get ready for this main event, I'll hand over the mic and let you give a chance to give some shout-outs for tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. First and foremost, on the hood tonight, accurate inspections on the quarter panels. Hometown Sunoco, that's a new sponsor that'll be hopping on board the real car for next year, so I want to say hi to Jay and everybody at Hometown. Don't know if they're watching or not. Hopefully they'll play. Mike's Custom Speed Shop, Boardwalk Subs, KRW Performance and Customs in Chicago, and that's it. So hopefully we can get some more airtime on the broadcast for good reasons.
Yep, for sure, Tanner. All right, best of luck to you, and I have a gut feeling we'll be talking to you by the end of this race. Tanner, best of luck to you in this main event.
I hope so, buddy. Well, hopefully we're talking to you later.
All righty, folks, that was our heat race winner as we now get ready to go over to the main event. So there will be a invert tonight, as the top 10 will get inverted as we get ready to go through tonight's starting order. So with the invert, folks, it puts the 86 machine of John Sanu on the pole, starting to his outside. He knows how to restart up top. He got to do it in the sprint race. We'll see if he can see what he can do this time. It's the 27 machine of Lee Campbell. Brian Wilderson in the 951 machine will start third. Ron Hart in the 51 in fourth. Cameron Deluxe in the 957 machine is in fifth. Sixth goes to Hayden Swank in the 35. Seventh is Dave Payne in the 38. Eighth is Tyler Jordan in the 92. Ninth is Nick Fleury in the 25 machine. 10th goes to our sprint race winner, Tanner Talarico. 11th is Josiah Millen in the 40 machine. 12th is Devin McDonald in the 18. 13th is John Kane in the 29. 14th is Danny Venezuela in the 04 machine. 15th is Zach Heiser, and starting shotgun for the main event is Kyle Leisure. So folks, a little bit of some noteworthy action to take into account. John Sanu elects to start scratch for this main feature event, so that will hand over the race lead to Brian Wilderson. So the 951 will have control of this restart. We'll see how he can fire on off, and that'll move everyone in that inside lane up a row. So we'll have to see how that shakes on out as we now wait for the iRacing pace car to make that late hard left-hand turn down this tricky Milwaukee pit road, and then we'll wait for the 951 machine of Brian Wilderson to jump on the loud pedal. He does just that. We get ready to do battle for 50 laps here for the main event. As we see the field head down into turns number 1 and 2, Brian Wilderson will get the advantage. Now Cameron in the 927 machine will try and take over the second position. Ron Hart from the top side gets down very quickly as he needed to. He now tries to take over the second position from that 927 machine. Lee Campbell now back down to the bottom here and trying to make it work as one car sideways off of turn number 4. That is the 35 machine of Hayden Swank. Also, the 40 machine of Josiah Millen goes on around, and one car almost involved there. Very close was the 1 machine of Tanner Tallarico. So we'll take a look and see what happened to the 35 machine off of turn number 4. Has those cold General tires, not up to snuff. Tries to jump on the loud pedal and just loops it on around. But we'll take a look at the yellow flag one more time from the one of Tanner Tallarico on board here. And we see just how close he is. Josiah Millen knows he has to make evasive maneuvers. Gets a piece of that inside wall, and that's how close it came to our sprint winner of Tanner Tallarico in the 1 machine. So Brian Wilderson is the current leader of the race. Ron Hart now up into second. The 927 machine up into third. Lee Campbell drops down to 4th, so he'll have to restart once again on the outside. Dave Payne rounds out the top 5 for this restart. As we didn't get a complete lap in, but caution laps are counting, so we won't have a full complete restart, but Brian Wilderson will once again lead us to green flag here at the Milwaukee Mile. Brian has come very close to a win here in the Sportsman Series. He has won, I believe, on the dirt, but he was one of the strongest cars 2 weeks ago at the Dirt Eldora race, so we'll see if maybe he can get a little redemption, as this place is definitely a driver's track. As the lights are extinguished on top of the iRacer pace car, we will be going back green flag racing action here, this time by. As these drivers definitely, with Hayden Swank going around that early, know they have to be a little bit timid on that loud pedal, making sure that no big mistakes happen. As we'll see if Hayden Swank can get back through this field. I bet he will in no time, as it looks like he has to probably let a few cars around as the back of the field tries to get set. But up front, we get ready to go back to green flag racing action as we wait for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road. And we have the 951 machine once again getting ready to lead us to green. He'll jump on the loud pedal right now, and we go back green flag racing action. Ron Hart with a great restart on the top side. They'll go pretty close door to door for the race lead. If I'm Ron Hart, I'm doing exactly that, trying to judge the restart, try to get back to the bottom. But one car, heavy contact to the outside wall. That looks like the 18 machine of Devin McDonald with significant contact off of turn number 2. We'll take a look and see what happened to the driver of the 18 machine, but that was heavy contact. As we take a look at the replay here, and in front of them, 2 by 2 in front of him, and might have gotten some help. We will take a look and see, as the 18 machine of Devin McDonald did get some help from the 92 with that contact. And oh man, big time right hand hook to the outside wall and very significant contact. I think John Kane may have gotten a piece of the 18 machine as well, as we see Devin McDonald, the winner from 2 weeks ago, will bring that thing down pit side and probably have a significant amount of damage to repair, as we are under our second yellow flag here from the Milwaukee Mile. with this caution. We'll go over some race information. Of course, we are at the Milwaukee Mile. That is a mile long. This used to be a horse track venue, and it actually did hold a Green Bay Packers game at one point in its history. One of the oldest speedways in the country. So some cool facts about the Milwaukee Mile here, as this place is definitely a driver's track. Like I said, folks, very low banking, pretty high speeds, and then of course got to take into account the changing asphalt and track style of this track. It is very demanding. Even for 50 laps, you know, a lot can unfold, as we've seen some pretty. That last one was definitely a big incident. Hayden Swanks, you know, not as big. Luckily, most people were able to get on around, but that will definitely end Devin McDonald's night earlier than he had hoped. Of course, if you're looking to join some racing action, be sure to check out AmericanSimRacingClub.com. As this time by, we should see the lights get extinguished on the iRacing pace car. And so far, not a whole bunch of time for these drivers to get into the racing groove. So we'll see if that can change here, if we'll get a long run as the laps continue to click on away for these drivers, such as Tanner Tallarico, Nick Fleury, and Dave Payne, to try and get through this pack. As we get ready for our second restart of the main event here, 50 laps around the Milwaukee Mile, 50 miles, and we are already closing in on 40 laps to go as we once again wait for the iRacing pace car to make that hard late left-hand turn down pit road. And now we'll wait for the 951 of Brian Wilderson to jump on the loud pedal as Ron Hart tries to jump it, and that causes a stack up down low. Cameron Deluxe in the 927 machine is on the short end of the stick. He will go on around, and we'll take a look at the yellow flag here on this start, as people saw the 51 machine of Ron Hart try and jump on it, and a whole bunch of stack up from the field, as that is a bummer. But always some good sportsmanship from this league. Lee Campbell knows that. He definitely made contact with him. Does claim that yellow very quickly. He'll go to the back, but still a lot of time to try and get through the field. But with this yellow, folks, we'll go to commercial break and come back on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Oh man, folks, so with catching the pace car at a weird time right on the restart, some drivers did elect to come down pit road, but I think they might be caught a lap down. One of those drivers being the 92 machine of Tyler Jordan, so that is a bummer for him. Another driver coming on down pit road was the 29 machine of John Kane, so all of those drivers may have, both of those drivers, excuse me, might have to be fighting for this lucky dog if we do get another yellow flag. So something to take into account as they will let the field go on by. So as if this race wasn't crazy enough, folks, we now got some battles for the lucky dog position here in the early stages of this 50-lapper. But the top 5 is looking like the following. Brian Wilderson continues to lead the way. Ron Hart in second. Dave Payne now up to third. Nick Fleury in fourth. Zach Kaiser up into the top 5. The biggest mover of this main event here, up 10 positions as they stand. As this time by at the stripe, we should see the 1 to go signal. So we'll get the field getting ready to rock and roll. And I'm hearing from race control, folks, we will try a single file restart, so none of these drivers will be stuck on the top side with these issues with these restarts. So we will try and single file them on out, see if that helps clean things up, and get ready to go back to do battle here from the Milwaukee Mile. As we will keep an eye from our second place here for the start, we'll be looking at the 51 machine of Ron Hart. But once again, the 951 of Brian Wilderson will be leading us back to green flag racing action. Once this iRacing pace car jumps down pit road, we will be back green here with 14 laps in of the 50 scheduled laps, as Brian Wilderson will jump on the loud pedal. A little bit of contact from Ron Hart. Doesn't get through the gears super well as we get another yellow flag right at the start. Kyle Leisure looks like he may have got some help. We'll take a look to see what happened to bring out this most recent yellow. As we look at the 41 machine, oh, it looks like a little bit of accordion. The 86 a little bit slow, and then not seeing cars in front of you on these single file restarts. You know, everyone trying to get the advantage, and Kyle Leisure once again on the short end of the stick. He is facing the wrong direction, but luckily not too much damage to that 41 machine, so he'll definitely be able to continue on with this race. But as we see the field trying to catch the pace car here and get everything sorted on out. But once again, folks, we will try and go again to single file here as we get these drivers trying to get everything sorted on out. As we have a quick spur of yellow flags here for the start of the main event. These drivers definitely pushing the envelope as much as they can, so we will have to see how everyone shakes on out for the most part here as we try and get some green flag laps. But so far, Brian Wilderson will continue to lead us to green flag. He has led every lap of this main event. Got to start on the pole, with John Sanu taking the scratch. John Sanu's now back up into 8th after starting 16th, so he is making his way through this field. But Brian Wilderson continues to lead the way, has led every lap so far of this main event. As this time by from the iRacing race control, we will be going 1-2 green And once again, another single file restart. We'll see if the field can get it done away cleanly. As the racing definitely is heating on up, folks. Like I mentioned in the pre-race, we are 2 weeks away from the start of the playoffs. Top 10 in points do advance to the playoffs, and they will, I believe, do battle for 4 rounds. So we'll see who can come out on top, as once again the iRacing pace car lights are extinguished on the roof. We are going green next time by, as most of the drivers that did start tonight's race are out there on track. I believe Kyle Ledger from that most recent yellow back down pit road. We'll see if the 41 machine can get back out there on track, as we now once again wait for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road. And Brian Wilderson will continue to lead us to green flag. Ron Hart, we saw him get that great start, make a little bit of contact. We'll see how this restart unfolds as the iRacing pace car jumps down pit road. Brian Wilderson waits no time to jump on the loud pedal. He gets away cleanly. Ron Hart in second. Dave Payne in third. As we see this field head through turns 1 and 2 here cleanly. As this main event has gotten shorn down quite a bit here. This time by at the start finish line, we'll have 20 laps completed. 30 laps to go already. So this race flying on by even with the yellow flags, as Brian Wilderson continues to lead the way off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch here into turn number 1. Ron Hart will bring it in second. Dave Payne third. Nick Fleury right there as well, about a car length behind the 38 machine, as Hayden Swank gets around Josiah Millen and now around Hayden Swank. But up front, battle for the race lead. Ron Hart makes the move, makes the late lunge inside of Brian Wilderson. New race leader, the 51 machine, trying to get the shotgun challenge done here tonight. He was last week's winner. He'll try and do it again here at Milwaukee. Now Dave Payne will slot into the second position. Nick Fleury now tries to take over third from Brian Wilderson. As we see this battle down the backstretch here side by side. Also Tanner Tallarico looking to the inside of Hayden Swank. This is the battle for 6th on track, and these guys can't do battle for too long, as they'll see the cars in front of them start to walk away if they don't get themselves sorted on out. A little bit further back, we have Lee Campbell trying to make the move on John Sanu. Also right in front of them, the 92 machine of Tyler Jordan, who is 1 lap down. The current Lucky Dog candidate is hoping for another yellow flag here, as these guys continue to do battle for the 9th position on the speedway. John Sanu sails it on into the top side. That may work to defend the position a little bit, but that will definitely hurt that right front, as Lee Campbell able to complete the pass. He will take over 9th. That'll put John Sanu right there in the 10th position, who might be under fire here in a lap or two from that 927 machine. Up front, Tanner Tallarico does get around Zach Heiser, so the 1 machine now finds himself in the top 5 as the battle for the race lead heats on up. These 3 drivers, you could throw a blanket over them, as Nick Fleury looks to the inside of Dave Payne down the front stretch. They'll go side to oh, not quite. Dave Payne shuts the door on Nick Fleury. He will hang on to the 2nd position. Dave knows he cannot give that position up to Nick, because Nick Fleury, one of the tougher guys to pass in the league here. But Nick Fleury able to get to the inside of the 38 machine. This is the battle for 2nd on track. Also, Tanner Tallarico now gets around Brian Wilderson for the 4th position, as this time by Ron Hart will see cross flags from the flagman halfway down, halfway to go in this race. With at least getting those initial yellows out of the way, folks, we have a nice green flag run. These guys getting into a rhythm. Now we'll see if Nick Fleury can chase down our race leader, and you can see how much deeper Nick Fleury in that 25 machine can drive it in on these corners. Really has a lot of trust in that 25 machine on corner entry, As one issue for driver, Zach Heiser, very slow off of turn number 4. Not sure what happened to him. Probably got a little bit sideways, but he needs to get that thing up to speed here if he doesn't want to lose any more positions. Luckily, the next car behind him is the 27 machine. The 92 is the current lucky dog candidate as they run. But once again, you see how deep Nick Fleury can drive it on in there. But a battle for this lead here. The top 4 right on top of each other. As we will see what Nick Fleury can do in that 25 machine. About a car length and a half back from our race leader. Really trying to keep the pressure on Ron Hart if he does make a mistake. That is a tall order to ask, though, as that 51 machine very smooth. And Nick Fleury, once again, can really sail that car in there into 3 right on the back bumper of Ron Hart. We'll try and get the run off of turn number 4. And we'll see, he will try and make the move down the front stretch. Will Ron Hart close the door? He will not. Nick Fleury, Ron Hart side by side for the race lead here in 1 and 2. Nick Fleury trying to make that inside work, and Ron Hart has the tall task of trying to make that outside line work. But with him stuck on up there as he is doing, this could open the door for the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. We saw him get the win in that sprint race. We'll see if he can do it again. Go back to back here from the sprint race to this feature as Ron Hart continues to make that top side work as they are still side by side for the race lead up front with 22 laps to go. Down into turn number 3, this battle for the race lead goes. Nick Fleury trying to use up as much as that inside line as he can. He will get clear, so new race leader for sure. Nick Fleury in that 25 machine takes over the point with 21 laps to go. As now Ron Hart is under fire for second with Tanner Tallarico down low. Does Dave Payne have enough of a run to get back to that bottom side? It looks like he might if he can sail it on in there in turn number 3. Tanner Tallarico right in a box right now. Can't sail it in there too hard with Nick Fleury right in front of him. And Ron Hart to his outside, but he'll be able to complete the pass. Tanner Tallarico up into P number 2 now sets the sights on the 25 machine of Nick Fleury. Ron Hart slots into 3rd there. Dave Payne 4th, and Brian Wilderson rounds out the top 5 all right here down the backstretch. Hayden Swank trying to make a run. As Nick Fleury gets a little bit loose, Tanner Tallarico tries to roll that top side. Battle for the race lead once again. Tanner Tallarico up top, Nick Fleury down low. And we'll see if that was a mistake by the 1 car, as that may open up the door for Ron Hart. No, it won't. Tanner Tallarico tries the crossover, almost gets the nose into the inside of the 25 machine for the race lead. These guys are duking it out here for the race lead. Tanner Tallarico trying to get enough of a run. This time he will have the run. They go side by side. Now Tanner Tallarico down low. Nick Fleury up top. The battle for the race lead continues as it seems like whoever is the race leader, can't get away from this field. And of course, is under fire from whoever is in second as they go nose to nose, door to door, down the front stretch. And Tanner Tallarico now has the advantage here in 1 and 2. Ron Hart will try and take advantage of Nick Fleury being stuck on that top side. Nick Fleury with a good run down the backstretch. If I'm Nick Fleury, I'm trying to slide it on in there just like that. He will reclaim the 2nd position and now put the pressure on the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Tanner now takes over the point lead here, but Nick Fleury with the run. He'll get to the inside. They continue to go at it for the race lead. Now Nick Fleury down low. Tanner Tallarico once again up on the top side. And even with these guys battling, they're kind of pulling away from Ron Hart, who might be a bit struggling in 3rd. Now Dave Payne will look to the inside of the 51 machine heading into turn number 3. Ron Hart will be able to shut the door on him, but they continue to battle for the race lead as we get a little bit of cloud coverage, folks. So some fast laps to be had right now on the speedway. Even with these tires wearing, we still see some pretty good lap times as some 31 2s and 3s for the most part of the field. as Tanner Tallarico will try and cross over here, gets the run down from the top side. We'll make sure Ron Hart doesn't get to the inside. So once again, Nick Fleury takes over the point, Tanner Tallarico in second. And with these guys battling, look who has entered the picture. Hayden Swank has chased down this front pack, is now into fifth and about 3 car lengths or so behind Dave Payne, who now makes the move to the inside of Ron Hart. Dave Payne and Ron Hart going door to door down the backstretch. We saw Ron Hart kind of have to play with that throttle as they go into turn number 3, but Tanner Tallarico tries to look, thinks better of it, but Ron Hart sails it on in there in the top side. Will once again defend the 3rd position from Dave Payne, who now will be under fire from the 35 machine of Hayden Swank. Here with a handful of laps to go, folks, I'm going to go hand it over, let the cars do the talking. I'm going to go do a little turn 3, turn it up. Wow, we got some great racing action on track as once again, Nick Fleury goes for the race lead here. Don't go anywhere, folks. We go back up to the battle for the race lead. Nick Fleury giving Tanner Tallarico the top side. So once again, these guys doing battle for the race lead. This is keeping Ron Hart in the mix as well. But Hayden Swank, our Quick Time Award recipient, is up to the 4th position. Did get around Dave Payne. So now we'll try and set his sights on Ron Hart. But Nick Fleury able to defend from Tanner Tallarico that time by. We see 2 open palms from the flagman. 10 laps to go around the Milwaukee Mile. Nick Fleury needs to rip that rear view mirror off of that car, make sure he hits his marks, and can only give Tanner Tallarico the top side, cannot afford to give him the bottom side as these tires continue to wear for these drivers. And Tanner Tallarico trying to make that top side work. A little bit loose off of turn number 4, trying to put that power down, but I don't think he's going to be able to make the top side, be able to make a pass unless Nick Fleury makes a major mistake down low, as Tanner Tallarico will try and get the run off of turn number 2. And we might have a little bit of lap traffic right in front of him. The 18 machine of Devin McDonald, very gentlemanlike, jumps way up to the top side, not going to interfere with this race as these front 2 continue to drive away here, as Ron Hart will get stuck on up with him a little bit. That will open the door for Hayden Swank to close that gap. Now inside of Carlink, into the inside of Ron Hart. They go door to door for Pete number 2 as Nick Fleury once again taking that defensive line. He's trying to make sure Tanner Tallarico does not get to that bottom side, but here is the battle for 3rd position. Hayden Swank will probably get around Ron Hart. That will open up the door for Dave Payne as well down low, as Dave Payne tries to get the 51 machine from that 4th position. But Hayden Swank now up into the podium. He needs probably a yellow, and that's what he gets to race these race leaders. So this throws everything up in the air, and we'll try and see what happened to bring out that yellow flag. It may have involved the 14 machine of Zach Heiser. We'll take a look at the replay here, folks. As I was just saying, this is what Hayden Swank needed. Gets through that field, and it looks like Zach Heiser just jumps on the loud pedal a little bit too early, spins that 14 machine around, and it looks like no other cars involved. So everyone with the clean yellow, let's say, and no damaged race cars from it. But now comes the time. Do we see any takers down pit road, or does everyone stay on out for the track position? Tanner Tallarico in the tough spot, because if he comes, everyone's going to stay out. If he stays out, most of the field will come on down pit road. We will see what happens here as we see the field head down the front stretch, and Tanner Tallarico stays on out. Nick Fleury comes down. Ron Hart also down. Dave Payne stays on out. So it looks like the top three will stay on out with old tires. It looks like Nick Fleury is the first car down pit road. So some strategy to be had here, folks. We'll see how it shakes on out, as we probably will have our first attempt of a green-white checkered. We will have to see. This is where it gets crazy, folks. Don't go anywhere, because we are going to have a shootout in it of itself. As it looks like we did have some takers with some strategy even on pit road. I believe Ron Hart, Zach Heiser, and Cam did take 2 tires. I think Nick Fleury, the first car with 4 tires. So we will have to see how that shakes on out for this field with only a handful of laps left in this race. So the first car on 4 fresh tires will be the 25 machine of Nick Fleury. Looks like he will be restarting in the 6th position. Ron Hart is the first car on fresh tires. He will restart in the 4th position, but Tanner Tallarico, Hayden Swank, and Dave Payne did not pit. They will be on old tires. We will see how this unravels here with our first attempt at a green-white checkered, because next time by, we will see the lights go on out on top of the iRacing pace car. So with a slew of 4 yellows pretty much back to back to back at the beginning, it is only fitting that we get a caution at the very end here for a green-white checkered. Remember, the top 3 are on old tires. 4th is Ron Hart with 2. 6th is Nick Fleury with the first car with 4 fresh general tires. We'll see how much of a tire advantage they get, as the fall off was at least a second. So we will have to see if these drivers can get around these cars not only quickly but cleanly as well. They don't want to see too many yellows, and they don't want to see a wreck in front of them that takes them out of the race this late in the race. Tanner Tallarico will lead us to green in the 1 car. We'll see how this unfolds, folks. Don't go anywhere as we get the iRacing pace car to head down pit road, and then the restart will go in the hands of the one of Tanner Tallarico. As Tanner Tallarico jumps on the loud pedal, we go back, green flag racing action as Ron Hart able to get down to the bottom. Tanner Tallarico gets away cleanly, but has Hayden Swank, who made his way through this field very well in second. And oh, they had to check on up big time off of turn number 2, and we get a yellow flag. This will be another attempt at a green-white checkered. I know Tanner was hoping to have that run to the end. He got a great start there. We'll take a look to bring out our 6th yellow as we look at the 18 machine of Devin McDonald heading into turn number 1 on this first attempt of a green-white checkered. As, oh man, it looks like Zach Heiser on those fresh tires. Very, very weird spin on almost the apex of the corner will take around the 18 machine of Devin McDonald, who is already having a tough race, but very weird spin from the 14 machine. As once again, folks, we'll get another attempt at a green-white checkered for this field. And folks, this is attempt number 2 at a green-white checkered here from the Milwaukee Mile. Tanner Tallarico will once again lead us to the green flag as the lights still are on the iRacing pace car. So we'll have 2 more laps to go. And Nick Fleury now gets to restart on the inside line. We'll see what he can do on those fresh 4 General tires, excuse me. As the biggest mover from the sprint race, folks, is of course the race leader of Tanner Tallarico, going from 10th to the 1st position. But now the iRacing lights go out on the speedway and on the iRacing pace car. We are going ready to go back for attempt number 2 at the green-white checkered. Still the top 3 on old tires. Ron Hart on 2. Nick Fleury up into 5th. On 4 fresh General tires. We'll see what he can do. See if he can get around Dave Payne and the front 2 here. It's going to be wild here once again, folks. As once again, we'll wait for the iRacing pace car to head down to the late pit road that is here at Milwaukee. And then wait for the one of Tanner Tallarico to jump on the loud pedal. Had a great restart last time. We'll see if he can do it again. As the iRacing pace car jumps down pit road, the one of Tanner Tallarico fires on off. That inside line gets a great restart. We go back, green flag racing action for attempt number 2 at the green-white checkered. Nick Fleury now making those 4 fresh General tires work. Ron Hart 3 wide down the backstretch here as everyone tries to get on around Hayden Swank, the man in the worst position up top, has to lose a whole bunch of spots. Now in the 5th position, a little bit of contact from the 927. He goes up the speedway with more contact from Brian Wilderson. Those drivers try and make it work, and they do. So we see the white flag. This race is official. We are racing back to the line here at Milwaukee as Hayden Swank continues to try and defend that position, but Tanner Tallarico is out there in front. He looks pretty good as car sideways off at turn number 2. This is the battle for 2nd on the speedway. Nick Fleury trying to roll that topside with those fresh tires and almost contact with Dave Payne, but they keep it clean. And one car goes around. That's Tyler Jordan, and Tanner Tallarico picks up the race win. Nick Fleury in second, Dave Payne third, Ron Hart fourth, and Cameron Derux in the 927 machine rounds out the top 5. And wow, what a race to that finish. That was pretty hectic, as we will be talking to those top 3 after this race. We'll keep an eye on Tanner Tallarico in that one car to burn it on down for the fans on the front stretch. As a crazy finish there from these drivers, but Tanner Tallarico is tonight's big winner and gets the job done and picks up the race win. We'll see him do some burnouts here for the fans. He will come at you right here, folks. And Tanner Tallarico will stop it on the front stretch. We're going to go to post-race interviews, and we'll be back on the other side. Don't go anywhere, folks. Alrighty, folks, we are back live from the Milwaukee Mile. First and foremost, we'll be talking to our third place finisher, that being Dave Payne in the 38 machine, getting another good podium and shaking that bad luck at the beginning of the season. We'll talk to him now. Dave, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett.
Alrighty, Dave, that was a hectic race and a green-white checker to top it on off. You were one of the cars that stayed out there on old tires. What was kind of going through your mind as you saw people picking and choosing, staying out or coming in for those fresh general tires?
I was the last one to stay out, so I was thinking I'm effed, to be honest with you. I was terrified. So I was thinking just stay on the bottom. You know, that's my whole plan, just stay on the bottom and hit my marks and don't let anybody underneath me. And Ron did get underneath me, and then I think we had another caution, which saved me, and then we had a good restart, Tanner, Nick, and I, and then I knew, like, the only thing, I'm like, Nick's going to get by me. He's got 4 fresh tires. I knew that. I'm like, the only way, if he's going to get by me, he's got to go around the outside, so that's what I was trying to do, and he just got me right at the end.
Yeah, Dave, that was a heck of a battle between you and Nick for that last lap there. We had the cameras on you guys as you guys go door to door and drag race to the line. Nick just getting a front fender on you, Dave, at the start-finish line. But after it's all said and done, probably not too upset at yourself with that call, able to hang on to the podium finish here tonight.
No, I've had a pretty good streak going on Monday nights. It seems like third is my spot, which is better than last. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, Dave, to be finishing races, like you said, is a lot better than how this 38 Pinkerton machine started this season. But, Dave, I got to say that this podium is pretty stacked out here tonight, so can't wait to talk to the rest of the guys. But before I let you go and celebrate this podium position, I'm going to hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 38 crew.
The standard people in line, first you and turn 3 for the broadcast. You guys are awesome. And, Brett, you do a great job. And we definitely appreciate you here at ASRC doing the work for us each Monday night and broadcasting these races. Thank Andrew for doing a great job. Like I said last week, I still think you did a fantastic job of revamping this series and coming up with cool new ideas that were a little different and add a little variety in with different formats. And I think this car is definitely the right choice for this series. And finally, and most importantly, my beautiful wife Natalie was sitting behind me for the last 5 laps watching us finish, for putting up with me and still being married to me after a full year, even though I play video games.
There you go, Dave. Yeah, I got to congratulate you and Natalie for your 1-year anniversary. That's awesome to hear, Dave, and hopefully many more anniversaries to come. But congratulations, Dave, on that and the 3rd place finish tonight. Heck of a job by you. It was a blast to watch you, and I'm pretty sure you enjoy this track, don't you?
Oh, it's one of the best oval tracks ever created.
That is the opinion from our 3rd place finisher, Dave
It's
Payne.
a fact, Brett.
Well, Dave, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope we continue the streak and chat with you. Always a great time having you in the booth, Dave. Have yourself a great rest of the night.
Thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, folks. Now we'll talk to our runner-up finisher, that being the 25 machine of Nick Fleury. Nick, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Alrighty, Nick. A heck of a job by you. You had a great battle with Dave at the end. You want to talk a little bit about that? I knew that 38 machine was not going to give up that bottom there.
Yeah, I give credit to Dave. There was only one way I was getting around him, and that was with the new tires I had. There was just no stopping that. But it was a great battle nonetheless with such little time to do it. It didn't make it easy.
No, it did not, Nick. You definitely needed to go from the drop of those green-white checkers there. And backing up a little bit before that, that strategy to come down pit road, was that always planned, or once Tanner Tallarico stayed on out, were you like, all right, we got to come in and take those 4 fresh General tires?
Yeah, it was pretty much last minute, like really about 3 car lengths before the pit entrance. I just kind of realized, you know, from second, there's no way I'm going to get back up in front of him and go for that pass. So tires was the only thing that was going to do it. And as soon as I came, I think everyone else was going to have the same idea. They would have to have fresh tires to do anything. So both Tanner and I would have been a sit duck if I would have stayed out. So may as well roll the dice and see what happens.
Yep, Nick, and that definitely was the right call. We saw Hayden Swank drop back very quickly on that top side, so you knew beforehand, you know, that top side is a one-way ticket to the back. And with this tire call, I do agree with that, and walking away with the runner-up finish, not bad, especially since you pitted from there and you end up there.
Yeah, I was extremely happy with it, and I'm very happy with the fun racing that Tanner and I had early on. It was a good battle side by side. I was guarding that bottom like you wouldn't believe, and Tanner was giving it all he could up there on the outside.
Yeah, Nick, dropping back even further in this race. You know, you and Tanner were duking it out for the race lead. Did you learn anything from Tanner every time you'd get around? And then it seemed like you would always get back around, and you're definitely making that one car work for that top side.
No, I didn't learn a whole lot. I couldn't quite figure it out. This track is all about, like, you got to be inch perfect to hit the apex just right so you get that good run off. And if you overcook the entry just a little bit, you're done for, and you're going to be a sitting duck. So I can never quite figure out how he was doing it on entry as well as he was. He had me dead to rights there. But on exit, I could at least hold my own in 3 and 4 and just pray in 1 and 2 that I kept him behind me.
Yeah, Nick, we were watching you reel down Ron Hart early in the race, and I tell you what, you were driving that car one of the deepest into turn number 3. You would gain a whole bunch of time on Ron Hart into 3, so it seemed like you did have a good amount of trust in this 25 car. It looked like you had a pretty good setup underneath you.
For sure, yeah, it felt real good, and I could drive it in hard on Ron, but couldn't drive it in quite as well as Tanner. He had a really good feel for that break.
Yeah, he did. But, Nick, before we let you go and celebrate this runner-up finish, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 25 team.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank Lord and Savior. He's the only thing that matters out there. Next, my wife. She was just so good to me. I love her very much. And I need to thank my sponsors, CMPM Incorporated, J Angle Home Improvement, and Mike's Garage. We really had some good setups tonight, me, Tanner, and Dave, which brings me to the last one. I want to thank my teammates there. We had a lot of fun tonight. And finally, to you, Brett, thank you so much for broadcasting. You do a great job, and we really appreciate you.
Alrighty, Nick. Well, awesome job to you. Finishing in the runner-up finish to the man of the hour, Tanner Tallarico, picking up both wins here tonight. Nick, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the future.
Thank you very much, Brett.
Alrighty, folks. Now we'll head down to Victory Lane to talk to the man of the hour. Getting the job done here for the race win for the feature event as well as the sprint race. That would be the one car of Tanner Tallarico. Tanner, do you got a copy? It's once again me in the booth.
Oh, yeah. What's going on?
Oh, man, Tanner. So, once again, you had to find your way through this field. You know, qualified a bit deeper, I believe, in 8th. Made your way through to the front of the sprint race. And once again, gets the job done for that main event. How was that one car overall, Tanner?
I just, first off, right off the bat, I want to say thanks to Nick and Dave and Ron and Hayden and everybody that was up front, because that was, I said it right after the race is over in the driver's chat, that was the most fun I've had on iRacing in a long time. So that was badass. So first and foremost, thanks to those guys. That was so exhilarating to do that. Yeah, that was just a crazy night, really. That was, I'm kind of chalking this one up as the first actual true win I've had all season. I got lucky at Sonoma. That was Ben Wildeson's race to win right there. We got that one on fuel mileage with like 2 laps to go. And this one, realistically, you could almost say this about the same one. We got lucky when the caution came out. I was having that crazy battle with Nick, and the caution came out late to set up that green-white checker. And, I was ahead by like 2 inches, and it was just enough to re-rack me in the lead. And oh my gosh, that was just so exhilarating. I'm sure it was a hell of a show for you. We're gonna have to go back and rewatch this replay, but that was just incredible racing with Nick. That was so fun.
Yeah, Tanner, you guys were putting on a heck of a battle. Once it seemed like one car had a little bit of advantage, it seemed like the other car could get the run. And yeah, Tanner, I hear the excitement in your voice. Heck of a job by you, man. That was a blast to watch, and hear you talk about it after. Man, that must have been a blast out there in the seat as well.
Yeah, I've been racing in real life for like 20-something years now, and I've been fortunate enough to be in a lot of tight battles with different drivers in real life and door-to-door. And that from a heart rate standpoint and just pure adrenaline standpoint was right up there with the best of them that I've ever had to do in real life. So that was, anybody out there that thinks that sim racing is just a video game and, it's just driving a virtual race car around a virtual track with your fake little steering wheel and all that, get yourself a setup and go do that, because that was absolutely incredible. That was, I don't really know what else to say other than that was some of the most fun I've had on iRacing in years. That was incredible.
Yeah, Tanner, that looked like a blast out there on track. And I tell you what, awesome racing from, like you said, everyone in that top 5. At one point, you guys were nose to tail, could throw a blanket over every single car. And to end up like we did, no big incidents from anyone in the top 5. Wow. And Tanner, going back to those green-white checkers and whatnot, what was the game plan from there to hold this race lead for those last 2 laps for those green-white checkers?
I didn't even have a plan. I knew everybody pit, and it was me and Dave and Hayden that had stayed out, and Dave's a teammate of mine, so I knew that him being on the same strategy as me, that we were going to try to work together the least little bit that we could. And just the green flag came out, and we had that first green-white checker there, and I saw Dave in my mirror, and I just kept glancing up in my mirror and hoping that I was seeing the front bumper of Dave's car and that we could kind of plug it up and I might be able to run free. And then the caution came out to set up the second green-white checker, and then I was really nervous because I knew that those guys that had taken tires and stuff had really closed the gap. But there on that last restart, I got up through the gears pretty good and somehow launched off a 2 really good. And, after that, I could kind of see that Dave and Nick had their battle going, and if I could just get back to the white flag and have a couple car lengths over those guys, that I was probably going to be safe if I didn't make any mistakes. So really that whole last lap, I was on pins and needles the whole time, just trying not to spin the tire, trying not to overdrive the entry, and just get to I almost blew the thing up going into 1 after we took the white flag. I was downshifting, and I downshifted way too early and hit the chip for like 10 seconds going into turn 1. I thought I was going to blow it up on the white flag, but we just got back around and took the checkered flag, and it all worked out. But that was intense as hell.
Yeah, Tanner, an awesome battle from everyone, like you said, in that top 5, and you especially with Nick. You guys were duking it out very cleanly, but man, awesome job from all the drivers here. And Had a blast talking with the other two, and especially you, Tanner. Awesome job, man. You're making me lose words up here in the booth, and that's pretty hard to do. So before we let you go, Tanner, and celebrate this victory, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you once again and thank who you got to thank down in victory lane.
Yeah, so as I said earlier, first and foremost, Dave, Nick, and Ron, and Hayden, and all those guys that were up front that were battling it out there for those few laps. Huge thank you to them for running not only myself but each other clean, because that set up just obviously a hell of a race between us all. I do want to say at home, anybody that's been watching these races, through the entire season, obviously this season has started, or this series has started to grow in popularity, and we're starting to get more and more names in here. Any of you guys that might know somebody, or any of you guys that are watching at home that normally race with us, come back out here and run, man. This season is absolutely incredible. I think this is race number 7, and I think coming into tonight we had 7 different winners, and it's just competition level is through the roof this season, and these races are incredible. So if you're at home or you've never been in sim racing and you want to come join and hop into the old league ASRC, you're more than welcome to come try this out, and I can guarantee you won't be disappointed. But that's enough out of me. I'll go ahead and thank everybody on the car. I know you probably got to wrap this up, Brett, but Elif Brothers Roofing, Accurate Inspections, Hometown Sunoco, KRW Performance, Boardwalk Subs, Mike's Custom Garage and Speed Shop, you, Brett, at Turn 1, all the admins back at ASRC, all the drivers that come out and make this thing happen every single week. This is absolutely badass. I think next week we go to the bull ring, so I'm sure that's just going to keep the momentum going for everybody and the excitement level up even that much higher. So we are rolling here in the Sportsman Series, and it's going to be just that much better as we wrap this thing up.
Oh, yeah, Tanner. Can't wait to see what unfolds, and right around the corner as well, the playoffs are looming, so we'll have to see how the intensity continues to ramp on up there. But, Tanner, you have yourself a great rest of the night. I'm going to go wrap up in the booth, but I'll be back down to party in Victory Lane with you.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Alrighty, folks, that was Tanner Tallarico down in Victory Lane, getting the job done not only in the sprint race, but also for the main event. So, folks, an awesome race overall, a heck of a battle from everywhere on track, and, of course, we had to finish it with a green-white checkered. So we'll run through tonight's race results. Tanner Tallarico in the 1 car gets the job done. He will be tonight's feature winner. Nick Fleury in the 25 machine brings it home 2nd. Dave Payne in the 38 machine brings it home 3rd. 4th goes to Ron Hart in the 51 machine. Cameron Deluck in the 927 machine in 5th. Josiah Millen in the 40 brings it home 6th. 7th is Hayden Swank in the 35 machine. 8th is Brian Woodison in the 951. 9th is Lee Campbell in the 27. 10th is John Sanu in the 86. Danny Venezuela in the 04 machine brings it home 11th. 12th is Tyler Jordan in the 92. 13th is Kyle Lesher. 14th, Zach Heiser. 15th, Devin McDonald. And rounding out the field tonight is the 29 machine of John Kane. So, folks, awesome race from Milwaukee for race number 7. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Got to give a shout out to all the live viewers, all the replay viewers, all the drivers that put on the show for me to commentate, all the admins here at ASRC to keep things rolling in the right direction, especially Andrew, like Dave and all of them were saying, making the series better each and every season. So big shout out to all of them. Of course, I am Brett the Jet from Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to check out Turn 3 Racing Network throughout the week for all your racing needs. We got a lot of racing to be had and a lot of broadcasts to be watched. So be sure to check out some of the other broadcasters or myself if you enjoy that. So everyone have a great rest of your night. Stay safe. We'll be back next week at the Bull Ring. So be ready for that, folks, as we go back to some more short track racing. Everyone take care. Have a safe week. And just remember, folks, I am Brett